TheRedPill.tv with Renzo Episode 1, Part B, with Alexander Luria from Russia. He actually lives in Tel Aviv. The name of this part is Digital Parenting Blueprint, the 6 points you must know. And we close talking about Twitch. I think so it's a great alternative for all the creative people instead of YouTube. Okay.
Thank you for having me again. It's great that there's some demand for this because it's important now. It's important subject, especially now when we locked in our house and the parents and the children has more interaction every day because the lockdown is not lifted in most parts of the world. So it's a great opportunity for parents to actually create bond with their children, and like I did. In the last episode, I described my journey as I started my gaming experience from 30 years ago, and now I've become a husband and a father, and I have a family. So this was a really important angle for me to develop because the previous pandemic was computer games, right? So parents were losing their children to the screens, and nobody was able to exactly say what to do with it. And kids were stuck in the iPhones and their iPads, and they're playing and watching movies. Nobody actually knew, and most parents just say, okay, just spare them just 15 minutes a day, or just take the iPads and remove them from social media, stop their digital life, right? But wrong. We are just setting up for failure because the kids are going to be entering the workforce in, let's say, in 20 years. So say somebody whose kids are in the first 10 years of their life. So in 20 years, they'll have to go start working somewhere, right? So they have to be able to use all this social media, all this branding, all this storytelling, all these digital platforms should be natural to them. And if we prevent them from using it, maybe they will have a bad hand starting in our digital world.
Okay. No.
So this, what are your thinking about it?
No, because I know in your course you really talk about this, no? The reboot your parenting model, no?
Yes.
Okay,
what is
but
your parenting model now?
no, no. Now I'm leaving my two daughters to make videos, just to share with the family, with the apps, with WhatsApp and this stuff. But they wanted to make to have a YouTube channel like a lot of children, no. And maybe I'm gonna encourage them to do that, no. But they have to use their creativity, their ideas, and I'm not stopped. I'm controlling the time with Netflix, with YouTube, the time that they watch, and the content that they watch. And but now, actually, as I told you in the last episode, that they want to play more, no, with video games, and now I'm resisting that. But you say, okay, we have to reboot our parenting model, no? But
Yes. So we are going to talk about the relation that I had with my parents about computer games. So my mom I was not familiar with the digital world, and for about 15 years, she didn't touch it, and it was like this devil box in the living room. Uh, you're not supposed to touch it, only with permission, 1 hour a day, and only she would turn it on, and she would decide when to turn it off, and no matter what I did, she was not understanding what I was doing because mostly I was doing it with my father. So she would come on and say, "It looks like you're doing some stupid stuff. Please stop and go away. It looks like you're doing the same thing all over again." And she was lacking the narrative that I was developing. Yes, when you, let's say, when you play in a game, there's a story that develops, and to the untrained eye, it just looks like the same character on the screen doing the same stuff, right? So, like you say, you play FIFA, right, Renzo?
Yes.
So it looks like you're doing the same thing. Why you are passing the ball between the players? It looks the same game. It looks stupid, but what underlines it, it's the skills that you develop, the friendship that you develop with the other player. But for that, we'll come to another part. But what happened at some point, school of my mother, she's a math teacher for the first until fifth grade. So they had this program, a computer for every teacher, and they gave her a computer, and she took it home. And the computer was locked on a high shelf for, I don't know, maybe 5 years. She didn't touch it. Yes, but when they gave her the computer, she kind of do the course, the basic course training, how to send an email, how to open a file, how to uh, do office suit in the computer. But after that, she forgot everything. And when she came to me to teach her again, because they started to ask them to use this smart classroom to make presentation for kids about presentations in PowerPoint. So she came to me and she started to ask me to teach her. And did you try to explain your own mother how to use the computer? It's it's a no-win game, right? Because you're going to be guilty anyway in the end. Because you don't know how she feels. It's very hard. She's going to tell you 100 childhood stories just not to touch the computer. And this, I think this similar to all the mothers. I'm going to write it in the notepad here, how to do all this thing, but you do it. But you do it. Show me, and I will write down in the notebook. Yes, and it took several lessons for me to convince her to take the mouse and the keyboard and start to typing commands on the computer. But what happened then is we opened this new channel to talk, right? So suddenly, what I'm doing on computer is not alien to her, and suddenly all the stuff that looks like it's the same all over again. She understands now there's a connecting narrative between the stages of a game, let's say. So this this conflict could have been avoided if you just were paying attention to your kid previously and you just maybe sit down with them for like 5-10 minutes just to see what they're doing. Because in a glance of 10-15 seconds when you pass by over the shoulder of your kid, it looks like he's doing the same thing for the last 2 hours, right? But, but there's a connecting story in the back. So she maybe say, "You're watching YouTube so long, it looks the same."
Yes.
But there's like different stories in the YouTube, right? And so you start you need to start thinking about your children that they are contributing to their own education, but you can help them and maybe ask them, what are you doing? Um, I know this course was started as one of our friends. One was his kid was bugging him how to start a YouTube channel, and the other one, her child was always watching Minecraft videos. And just ask your kid, what are you doing? What is this world? Explain it to me. What is the interesting part here? So it will not be like I'm the parent, I'm deciding now what you're going to do, and like in old school, the children has no say, right? They have no opinion how to to do stuff, right? And what to do.
Okay, okay. Um, as a parents, we have to begin just with this. Um, I can say simple step, but that this simple step have a great benefit in the relationship with your kid. Um, just just ask and listen. No, what are you
Yes.
doing, and begin to get in their world. No, about this. Great, 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 Alexander. And
Yes.
in the course, this is also very interesting. Is um, the leverage on failure. Um, why you think this is important and teach the kids and make them strong? I don't know. It's the idea I understand.
Um, First of all, failure is an inevitable part of life. And I have a confession to make. I'm a loser. I'm a failure. I'm a complete failure. And I failed in my life maybe 1 million times. Okay, before you judge me, I'm just going to explain myself, okay? Because it's it sounded dramatic, right?
Yeah, strong words.
Yeah. So the story was I was about 10 years old, and my father started to teach me how to play chess. You know, king, queen, and pawns, and you know, chess, right? And of course, you understand that in 10 years old, my father was like bigger and smarter. I had basically no chance, right, of winning. But the funny thing was, he never said, "Oh, you're a failure. Give up. You can't beat me," and close the game. No, he was always encouraging me. Okay, you failed. Okay, let's try again. Let's change color. Okay, I will take some pieces of the board to make it easier. Okay, so slowly I would maybe win one match in 100 with the help of him. Right? He would say, "Okay, move here, and now you got me." But what was the lesson here? I was not afraid to lose. Many people are just afraid to lose. They're trying to be perfect, and perfect brings to paralysis. So let's say your children are watching somebody plays video games in YouTube, okay? And they say, "Wow, this player is amazing. I need to learn from him." But what they're actually doing, they're being in anxiety, so they are not good enough. Okay, so they think I'm not good enough. I'm never going to play like him, and that brings to paralysis. They see this perfection, but they don't know that this player maybe played 100, maybe 1,000 hours before he got that good. So what the video games are coming to teach us, because you're not in risk of everything.